Daddy D. If it ain't going down at the Bunny Ranch, it ain't going down at all.
It's going down at the Bunny Ranch. Going down, going down, going down, going down at the Bunny Ranch. It's going down at the Bunny Ranch. It's going down at the Bunny Ranch. Going down at the Bunny Ranch. It's going down at the Bunny Ranch. It's going down at the Bunny Ranch. Going down at the Bunny Ranch. It's going down at the Bunny Ranch. Going down at the Bunny Ranch.
All right.
Just double checking my ass looks good.
I mean, yeah, it does it look good? I can't tell. Okay, yeah, okay. I mean, hang on, I gotta say. Okay, we're good. Welcome back to the Bunny Ranch Podcast. I'm James, and today from the Kit Kat Ranch, we have the fabulous Elsie.
Hi.
So, Elsie, who are you?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm a music lover.
Okay.
I love going to live concerts.
What kind of concerts?
Alternative rock. I have at the very least, like 5 pairs of shredded fishnets. You know, as you do when you go to punk concerts. But obviously, I'm there for the music.
Always. Who's the best person you've seen at one of those?
Oh, that's a great question.
I mean, I don't go to punk rock ones, but
yeah.
You know, who exactly is like your favorite that you've seen live?
So I have two. Two, and they sort of piggybacked into each other. I was at a Dance Gavin Dance festival, which is Swan Fest. I was at the first Swan Fest.
Okay.
And I've seen them 7 times live. They're great. Like, I couldn't recommend buying their tickets enough, and I'm not getting paid for this, I swear. And at that particular festival, there was Don Broco, which is a British band, and I fell in love. It was great. It obviously not like love. I love their music, but
yeah.
make sure to specify it's not romantic love, though. If any of them wanted to call me. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They're on the same wavelength. And that's pretty much why they were at the same show.
Okay.
Because Dance Gavin Dance handpicked all of those artists to come to their show. So I was very happy to be a part of the inaugural Swan Fest.
Interesting. Yeah, I've gone to a lot of EDM festivals over the years, like EDC, Paradiso, Phoenix Lights, all these things. Like the best ones I've seen, Martin Garrix, which is one of my favorite.
He's great.
And live, he's amazing. I'd say Tiesto, but I've seen him so many times, and I mean he's great. He's father of so much thing. But Illenium was probably one of the better ones.
Okay.
Just a wild, and even Excision, which is just crazy with mixing rock and headbanger and pyrotechnics and holograms everywhere. When you see a giant T-Rex literally walking over the crowd, it's the most insane thing you can ever see live.
That's dope.
So kind of interesting stuff, but yeah. So a little different kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Punk rock and that, so.
Yeah. I definitely also do EDM and things like that,
Okay.
but punk rock's got a lovely large place in my heart. Yeah. I've been going to concerts since I was young. I went to my first concert when I was about like 7.
Okay.
And then once I had adult money, the things you can do with adult money, just buy all of the concert tickets.
It's true.
Yep. Once they were like, there's no rules. It's your money. Bet. Yep. I have a lot of band merch because when you go to a concert, you need to remember it. Not only in your head, but like with physical things. Buy merch at your concerts. Helps the band.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it definitely does. So, what do you do on your off time? Like, what do you do for fun? Wise, besides punk concerts and things like that, what exactly do you do for fun?
So I'm born and raised Southern California, so I love going to the beach. I love being in water.
Okay.
But I also love amusement parks. Like, amusement parks are the best because I was where I lived in LA. I was 30 minutes away from Universal Studios, 2 hours from Disney, and 2.5 hours from Six Flags. So Me and my friends have season passes to all of those.
Oh yeah.
It's worth it. It's worth it, especially if you go more than twice a year. Again, I'm not getting paid for that.
Well, I mean, no, and living in California too, you get a huge discount as well. Like for someone, if I went get even because I don't think you can get outside season pass anymore. I think they cut off for Disney at least.
Yes, for
'Cause
Disney.
Disney doesn't do it anymore.
Yeah, it has to be the California pass.
Yeah, that's no fun, but
And
it
it's
happens.
They also raise the price astronomically, so
Yeah, well,
it's Disney.
it's gonna and people are gonna go regardless. I've been going to Disneyland since I was 4 or 5. So
Started when I was about 2.
yep, I think last time I was at Disneyland was 2016. So, so
I
mean, yeah.
haven't. I'm a bad Disney. I haven't been since like 2010.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, other things came up, so I went to other things like music festivals, traveled to other states,
Yep.
Little stuff like that.
Yep.
I even have Mickey, Sorcerer Mickey tattooed on my
I
arm.
didn't notice that. Ooh,
Yeah.
I like that. I have quite a few tattoos.
Yeah?
And so I have one band tattoo,
How many, though, total tattoos?
30.
Okay.
And then once I get my arm filled in, it's going to drop dramatically because I'm counting them all individually because they're all from different artists.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. And then once it's one cohesive piece, it counts as one and I'm back down to like 15.
I mean, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. Depends on how you look at it, but I have band tattoo, I have chemical compounds.
Okay.
I have Shakespeare on my body.
Where?
On my ribs. It was actually my first tattoo. It was the first line of the first play I was in.
Okay.
I was a professional Shakespearean actor for 5 years.
Okay.
I did that for 5 years. I was able to do Shakespeare in the Park. I was able to work with some amazing people, and it really helped with going into porn and all of that because I'm used to being on stage. I'm used to performing. Not necessarily this, but I'm used to performing.
It's performing.
Yeah.
It's all a different form of performance.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yep. I've got 2 Batman Batarangs.
Why? I'm asking each tattoo because you're gonna have to tell me why. Because every tattoo, no matter who you are, always has a meaning to why each one is there. Doesn't matter from where it's a flower to Mickey Mouse to whatever. It's all has like a certain meaning. You chose that, so.
Oh yeah.
Unless you were really drunk and then did something, but that's.
I actually don't have any drunk tattoos.
I don't either actually. I was completely sober when I did everything. So.
Yeah, I made these. These are sober mistakes. So the Batarangs, I have them on both hips.
Okay.
And it's the outline of the Batman logo, and it's the outline of the 1990 logo because there are so many iterations of it.
Oh yeah.
And then on the inside of one, I have the infamous Joker's ha 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 from the comics. So it's very haphazard and all of that.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, I have the Harley Quinn Argyle print, which is a very fun and very playful. I also cosplay, so Harley Quinn has a very special place in my heart. And that particular tattoo I got done by a friend. He was an apprentice, and it was his first 2-color tattoo.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your most meaningful tattoo? Like, obviously, if it's your first or your last, whatever it is, what is the one that has the most meaning?
Well, they all definitely have meaning, but I'd have to say it's my second tattoo.
Okay.
That's the chemical compounds. I got the chemical compounds for dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine. So
Okay.
Those are the compounds that in your brain make you feel happy, make you feel love, and all of that fun stuff. And I was going through a really rough time, and I needed that. I needed the reminder that it's chemicals, and just because I have a deficiency in something doesn't mean that it's not going to come back.
Yeah, true. Can always be fixed.
Yep.
So, and you said cosplay. What cosplays have you, like, what cosplays really are the ones you've done, and, like, what are the most fun ones?
I have done so many Harley Quinn cosplays. So many.
At, like, Comic-Con, I'm assuming? Because
I
you're
actually-
Southern California,
Yeah.
so
I have actually never been to Comic-Con.
Okay.
The tickets sell out just so quickly.
yeah, you have to be there that more like the moment they launch it,
And then you have to be like on the
Yep,
button,
yeah,
refreshing.
Yep, it's really crazy sometimes. I've never been to it either, but I know I have friends who've done it every year.
Yep. I used to work for a website, so I used to be able to go for free.
Ah,
And we would do interviews, we would take pictures and all of that fun stuff. But like my favorite cosplays, I've done the New 52 Harley, where she's got the hot pants and the rollerblades.
Okay.
That's definitely my favorite. I'm trying to get into roller derby, so it's nice practice. Yep. I've also done, I also do like Renaissance fairs and things like that.
Okay.
So if you catch me out of costume, you know I'm being serious. Yeah, when I'm in my off time, I'm generally in a costume somewhere.
okay.
Yep.
So I mean, if they came in to see you, you could definitely pull off a cosplay then.
Oh, definitely,
Okay.
definitely. Certain cosplays take a little more time. I'm definitely going to have more pictures of my cosplays on the website so that they can choose. And if they wanted something specific, it may take a little time. Cosplays can take up to 3 to 6 months to make.
Oh yeah.
Because I am not a professional seamstress. I am throwing this together, and but I have worked with like Warbla, which is the moldable foam and stuff like
okay.
that. So I
Yeah.
can make props, and it's a lot of fun. Please request a cosplay party. I wanna make another cosplay.
Yeah, I mean that honestly, that seems like a lot of fun, especially for anyone. If you come in and that's your dream of sleeping with that person, and then you have a cosplay of that, oh, I'm sure that'll blow anyone's mind at that point.
Oh yeah, and it's so much fun, like the creation of the cosplay and all of that. But like to be able to, the reason I got into this was to be able to fulfill fantasies and things like that. Like I genuinely love what I do, and to be able to be what that person or persons needs in that moment
Yeah.
is magical. My favorite part.
So what has been something that really stood out to you so far? Not just in this industry, but in life in general. Like something you've done, like besides cosplays and festivals, because you've worked you even said porn. So like, what is that industry like with that as well?
It's so different.
Oh yeah, it's definitely different.
Yes.
Yeah.
So going from a regular normie job to doing porn in this full time, I've been thinking about it for years. I've been in the industry for 3 years, and I thought I couldn't do it, and it was an easier transition than I was expecting. But it's a lot of mental work, knowing where your limits are, knowing where your boundaries are, because if you don't know them, you can't express them, and then how is somebody else supposed to know them?
That makes sense.
So generally, I don't offer any parties that I haven't already experienced, because if I haven't experienced it, I don't know where I fall on that line. So I don't want to get into the middle of a party and have a reaction of some kind and give a bad party. That's not
True.
That's not the goal. That is not the
Yeah,
goal.
I mean, you have to be fully comfortable in what you do, like no matter what, because especially when it comes to like any kinks, fetishes, or even just general sex, you really have to know kind of where that fine line is. Because if you don't, everything is going to go bad, or you can get really hurt.
Exactly.
So that's the
If
thing.
you
That's
don't
why,
know-
yeah,
If you don't know your mental or physical limits, you're in for a bad time, because how is it, like I just said, how is anyone else supposed to know what you don't
Exactly.
tell them? And that's definitely a big thing for me. Like I've been in the kink community for 8 years now,
okay,
and almost 9. And I've done a lot more mental work than I have physical work,
okay,
because there's so much mentally that you have to deal with to be able to do those fun scenes where you're
Yeah.
doing impact play, where you're being tied up, because you have to be in the right mental state for all of that.
True. Like, with those two, like,
Mm-hmm.
what is your very favorite
Mm-hmm.
kink fetish?
That's going to be ABDL, DDLG.
Okay. What is that?
Yeah,
Remember, everyone out there might not know what that is.
I'll explain it. So ABDL is adult baby diaper lover, and I generally don't use the diapers themselves. It's more for the feel and the and the like aesthetic.
Yeah.
It gets me in like the right headspace, and I've noticed that it also does that for like other people. Obviously, I've worked with partners that have used them, and that it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of emotional healing
Okay.
is what goes into that, because there's a reason that an adult wants to be a baby or a toddler. There's a reason you want to heal that inner child, and generally ABDL isn't for forever. It's you work through what you're working through,
Okay.
and then you're sort of, you move on to other things. You move on to other kinks. You don't need it as much.
Okay.
So like when I found it, I needed it a lot. I was going to bed in my diapers every night and things like
Okay.
that. And this is actually the first time I've talked openly about it. Now I don't, because I've done that work. I've done the internal work to not need it as much.
Okay.
And that's the thing. And then there are some people that will always need it. So it's a lot of knowing yourself, like with all kinks. It's knowing yourself, knowing your body, and knowing what you need in that moment.
And you said it was that, and then something else too.
Yes. So DDLG, which is Daddy Dom Little Girl. So that's a lot of role play.
Okay.
ABDL is role play as well, but
Yeah.
this is more. It's more playful role play. So you're playing as a schoolgirl. You're coming home and things like that. And in that particular kink, you never use the words daughter or father, because it's not. It's a role play, and daughter and father really connect to familial ties,
Yeah.
and that's not what it's about. These are consenting adults. Same with ABDL. It's all consenting adults. There should never be anything other than that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of like, it's also healing your inner child, but with that, it can get a lot more sexual and playful and stuff like that. It's a lot of like, one of my favorite scenes to do is, well, teach me how to do it, Daddy. I don't know how. Teach me. Like that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And it's a lot of fun, especially if you're playing with a partner that you've never played with before. You can be like, oh, teach me. And then that partner is showing you exactly what they like. So you don't have to go through the weeks of trying to figure it out. They're showing you. And even with partners that you've been with for forever, it's a great way to remind yourself, I thought you liked that, but oh, you're telling me something different. So just reaffirming that everyone is getting exactly what they want out of each experience.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. With that though, what is something that you've done that, you totally would never do again? Like, because, we're all going to have that, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to test a kink, you're going to test something, especially working in the sex industry. You're going to find out real quick what you really don't like and what you do like. And sometimes you might find something that you really like that you never thought you would like. So what is like something that you thought you might like, and then all of a sudden you're like, fuck this. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
we've all been there.
I get it. So I had a fascination with like hypnosis, and there's a very big, there's a very big portion of the kink community that deals specifically with hypnosis,
Yep.
mind fuck, things like that. And
Turning you into like a sex robot or sex slave.
sort of.
Yeah,
sort
I've
of.
seen some of that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's all different types of
Yes,
it, but that's
yes.
I've seen a lot of that in this industry too.
Yeah. So I'm still super into bimbofication.
Okay, there you-
body
that's the word I was
modifications,
looking
and things
for,
like
yeah.
that. But the hypnosis was a little off for me. I'm a very free-spirited person, but I'm also a very strong-willed person.
Okay.
So it was, I couldn't get into the scene as fully as maybe somebody else could. And obviously not to say that the people who do it aren't strong-willed or anything like that. Don't want my words twisted. But for me, I found I couldn't get into the right headspace for it because I was pushing back mentally. So I wasn't quite getting everything that I've heard that you can get from
Yeah.
those types of scenes.
Because you basically have to, I mean, the way hypnosis works is you still have to agree to it. Like, everything is what your mental state wants and agrees. So if
Yep.
you really don't want it, like, if you come in there thinking, oh, this is never anything real, you know, but, and you see all those shows and things where people say that and then they get dropped like a puppy or whatever, but you still have to agree to it. Like, somewhere has to click with that. And that's kind of where a lot of it is, like, a lot of people can't do, like, don't do hypnosis because it doesn't click to them at all. Not saying it doesn't work, it's just it doesn't work on certain people.
Yeah. And obviously not to say that I won't try it again with another partner,
Yeah.
but with that particular partner, whatever it may have been, it just wasn't a good fit. So
Yeah, I mean, that totally makes sense, you know,
Yeah.
exactly what it would be. So you've been here 9 months, or
yeah,
almost
just
9 months.
about,
Yeah, almost 9 months. We kind of talked about it earlier. That's why I was like
Yeah.
trying to remember. I'm like, because I thought it was about a year, and
Yeah.
it's close. It's close.
It is really close.
So we're hitting the end of summer. This is pretty much the end of summer right now.
Yeah.
What are your plans for the rest of this year? Like, what are you gonna like? What do you have some festivals already lined up? I mean, obviously, don't say what shows and festivals you're
yes.
going to, because you know,
I do
as
have.
much people think, don't awkwardly come up to people when you see them in public.
Please don't. I've had that
Just-
happen, and obviously, I'm super appreciative that you're a fan. But it can get a little awkward because when I'm here, I'm a completely different person than I am at home.
Yep.
So, and I want to make sure that I keep you a fan. So I'm going to turn on that switch, and that could ruin my night, unfortunately. And as much as I'd love to tell you, like, come up and talk to me,
No,
please don't. Please don't. Come see me at the ranch, and we'll have the best time.
exactly.
Yes, I have a few things lined up. My birthday's coming up in October.
Oh, there you go.
So I have a few things lined up there. I have a few trips lined up. And I'm really looking forward to getting back into the swing of porn. I'm going to be doing porn a little more thoroughly over the winter.
Makes sense.
Yep. And so you guys will be able to see me. It'll be fun. I honestly love doing porn. It's great. It's great. I've had production companies that I've been working with before. They've been reaching out for months, and I'm just like, let's do it. Let's make it happen.
I mean, that's a good feeling though, especially when they're reaching out to you directly. You know, because you're like, yeah, and especially wintertime, because winter's a lot. No matter what anyone says, sex is better than cold. Because then you cuddling, you actually like, you really want to enjoy that friction and enjoy that time with the person.
And you'll notice if you come into my room, it's generally very cold. I run about a 97, so it's harder for me to stay cold.
Okay, gotcha.
So, and then once I'm hot, and
I hate
touch
the
me.
heat. Yeah, that's why I
Don't
moved.
touch me, I'm
That's
hot,
why
sweaty.
I lived in Vegas for a couple of years. I hated it dramatically and had to come back up because it's a all different kind of weather down there, and it's way too damn hot.
Yeah, I was in Arizona.
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah. I've been there. Phoenix is horrid.
I wasn't in Phoenix. I was in the mountains, so it was a little more like LA weather,
Okay.
slightly. But we got all 4 seasons. Like, I loved it there. It was great.
Okay.
It was great. But when you're getting to 110, 115 degree weather,
It's
and my car at that point did not have AC.
oh no.
Oh, it was miserable. It was miserable, and I had leather seats.
Oh,
So,
shit. Oh.
I was just sticking everything.
Definitely not a fun.
No, it was not a fun time. Not a fun time. But that car, man, love that car.
What kind of car was it?
Mini Cooper.
Ah, okay. Like classic Mini Cooper?
Not a classic. It was an '06.
Okay.
And
That had no AC in an 06?
Oh, it had an AC.
Oh.
It just didn't work.
Oh, okay. I was confused. I'm like, wait.
No, it had an AC.
Okay.
It just didn't work.
Yeah, okay.
But people often forget that Mini Coopers get raced on the European circuit.
Yep.
So
They're fun little cars. I've
They
I've
are.
driven a few.
So the road to get to this teeny tiny town that I lived in was very, very curvaceous, and the first couple of times that I drove it, I happened to be driving next to a Porsche, and he revs, I rev, and around corners, Mini Cooper's got Porsche's beat. They have
Their handling is
Yeah.
phenomenal for that little car.
Oh yeah, Porsches have better, bigger engines and things like that, but Mini Coopers are lighter and have a smaller wheelbase, so they have better handling.
Yep. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. And some of them, like especially like off-road circuits too, are beautiful. I get to play in one in the mud and everything. A lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
You can get it stuck real easily, but it is so much fun to play with, though.
yeah.
Jeez.
Get me started on racing. Oh, I'm actually going to the NASCAR experience
Oh,
this winter as well.
in Vegas? Or...
I'm not going to the one in
Okay.
Vegas. They have them all over the country.
Yeah, I was like, I don't remember any of the others, but yeah.
Yeah, they do have them all over the country. It's something that I've been looking forward to for a really long time. It's a thing that I grew up watching NASCAR. I grew up with racing and all of that, and I'm very excited to go fast.
That's a good thing. Yeah, I mean, my grandfather loves NASCAR. One of my first jobs when I went to college was actually I worked at the Vegas Motor Speedway for a little bit.
Awesome.
During like NASCAR weekend, we were there for like VIP tickets, like just making sure the tickets got out. And then I did NHRA as well, so the hot
Cool.
rods.
Yeah.
Both are very loud.
Yes.
Both are very. I mean,
Yes.
NASCAR is definitely not my thing. I grew up around it, so I know it. But really cool to see the crashes.
Obviously, you don't want crashes, though.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
yeah, I remember my first NASCAR race, and they were like, here are earplugs. And I was like, why? Why do I need earplugs? And this is before the engines have started or anything.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like 8 at the time, so I'm just like, why would... They're cars. They're
Oh, yeah.
cars. They go vroom. It's fine. And then it starts, and I'm like, oh
yeah, definitely putting them in. Well, Elsie, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Tell them how to get a hold of you. Like,
Of course.
what's your email?
My email is elsieellis@kitkatanch.com. And hopefully you'll be able to spell that out because it is a lot of
It'll be
vowels.
pretty much right below you on there.
Okay.
Don't worry, I gotcha.
Yeah, it's a lot of vowels. And you can always call the ranch. I have completely open availability for appointments, even if I'm not particularly at the ranch at that particular moment. As long as you give me a lead time, I will definitely be in to make sure that it fits with your schedule.
So yeah, definitely, and especially guys, if you're really into like cosplay, like think of like the coolest thing you could do. Give her a heads up, and you can plan it out. You know, put a deposit down, and she'll get that outfit going, and then
Oh, yeah.
you could definitely do it. So,
Oh, definitely.
because do you have any cosplay outfits with you at the ranch right now? Nothing with you right now.
I
Yeah.
do not. I
Then
haven't
you
had
were
any
talking about
requests
it
for
last
yet.
time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't had any requests for it yet, but hopefully when this comes out, I'll get some and
Oh, yeah.
I'll be able to create some
Yeah,
fun cosplay.
exactly that, or hit her up, and then she'll get the like Harley Quinn ones brought out.
Yeah, I
You
can
know.
definitely have those mailed out. They're already done.
Exactly. So, but everyone, I'm James. This is the Bunny Ranch Podcast. That's Elsie Ellis. Make sure you guys do hit her up. Have a lot of fun, and we'll see you again on the next episode. Bye.